Optimus Prime Origins, exploring the mightiest Autobot and gallant hero. The Transformers series is one of the biggest hits in pop culture, and is a household name even among the general public. Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, has always been one of the fans' favorites ever since he was first introduced in the animated Transformers series in 1984. However, not much is known about the origins and the history of this mighty Autobot, who led his team fiercely even in the name of tyranny. Let us dive into this story and explore everything surrounding the legendary Optimus Prime. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Optimus Prime, the mainstay of the animated universe. Optimus Prime was the headstrong leader of the Autobots in the Transformers universe, originating from the planet Cybertron. The Cybertronian species were a blend of biological evolution and advanced technological engineering that gave them the appearance of robotic lifeforms. Optimus Prime and his Autobots often engaged in a war against Megatron and his troop of Decepticons, another faction of Cybertronians. Over the course of years, Optimus Prime has been the protagonist of various Transformers media and has been voiced by multiple actors such as Peter Cullen, Ron Haidt, Neil Kaplan, and so on. He was portrayed as a member of an ancient Transformers race known as the Dynasty of Primes, and Optimus also held the title of the Last Prime. He was the last of the original Transformers created by Primus, and some of his origins are explained in Transformers: Covenant of Primus. At the time, all the Primes created by Primus faced a threat in the form of the Chaos Bringer Unicron. While the Primes succeeded in this battle, it marked the end of their era and introduced a new race of Transformers. Optimus Prime chose to be reborn along with this new race in the Well of All Sparks and took the name Orion Pax, after all his past memories were erased. In this new life, Orion was handed the Matrix of Leadership responsibility when Megatron and his army of Decepticons threatened Cybertron's future. Orion once again took on the name Optimus Prime and fought in the Great War against Megatron. In the first generation, G1, Transformers series, Optimus Prime could transform into a Freightliner FL-86 cab over semi-truck. He was introduced as the leader of the Autobots, but not much about his origins was revealed during the Generation 1 era. When Megatron used a time machine to get rid of the aerial bots' existence in the future, he drastically changed the timeline, which changed the course of Optimus Prime's life. Initially, Prime used to work as a dock worker millions of years ago and went by the name Orion Pax. In this golden age of his home planet, Orion had a girlfriend, Ariel, and a best friend, Dion. When Megatron traveled back in time, Orion and his friends were impressed by the new breeds of robots that appeared on their planet and tried to approach them. Megatron finally visited the dock warehouse where Orion and his friends worked, and he attacked them after inquiring about using their warehouse for his personal benefit. The aerial bots located Orion and decided to take him to Alpha Trion in the hopes that he could help Orion. He was one of the oldest Transformers who had lived right from the times when Cybertron came to existence. Alpha Trion used his extensive knowledge to attempt a new reconstruction process on Orion, which rebuilt the Autobot with a stronger, battle-ready persona. Orion Pax then became Optimus Prime, a warrior of the Autobots, who led them into their civil war against the Decepticons. Optimus Prime held this position for 9 million years, and even led their missions to find a new energy source after Cybertron's resources were depleted. On one of these missions, Prime's aircraft Ark was attacked by Megatron's ship Nemesis, and Megatron ended up breaking and entering the Autobot spaceship. Prime and Megatron launched into a fight, and this caused the ship to lose balance and crash on Earth. The Transformers all fell into emergency status during their fall, and they were awakened after 4 years when their ship's computer came back to life and reactivated them. The computer first reactivated the Decepticons, and then Starscream tried to destroy the Autobot ship. Starscream's attack caused a landslide, and the Autobot ship started vibrating as a result of being caught in this landslide. Finally, Optimus Prime fell in the path of his ship's restoration beam and came back to life. In the next 2 decades, the Decepticons managed to seize control over Cybertron, and the Autobots had no option but to operate from their base city on Earth, and 2 of Cybertron's moons. In 2005, Megatron launched an attack on the Autobots' city on Earth in order to capture this place as well. Optimus Prime fought until the very last second to fend for their city against Megatron, and succeeded in defending the Autobots. However, he suffered some fatal wounds and ended up dying. He made sure to pass the Matrix to Ultra Magnus before he died, but the Autobot Hot Rod got his hands on the Matrix and decided to become the new leader. Hot Rod appointed Ultra Magnus as his second in command, but they soon discovered that Optimus Prime had been resurrected. Hot Rod returns the Matrix to Prime, but they realize that their leader is acting differently and seems to be under someone's control. Hot Rod decides to confront Prime, who then has a flashback of being resurrected by the Quintessons, an enemy race of aliens who reprogrammed Prime to sabotage the Autobots. However, the Matrix's influence helps Prime undo the reprogramming done by the Quintessons, and he returns to normal. Prime does not get a lot of time to catch his breath, as he is once again killed in an explosion set up by the Quintessons. Prime's death in the Transformers movie did not fare well with the audiences, which is why he was brought back to life later in the third season of the Transformers series. In the Generation 1 Transformers, this movie was released after the second season of the Transformers series, and the story was continued in the next season titled Transformers Rebirth. The writers revived Prime in the third season's finale titled The Return of Optimus Prime. Here, it was shown that Prime's body was retrieved by humans after the explosion. It was contaminated with strange particles. A scientist who was against the Transformers' agenda then tried to weaponize these particles, thereby leading to a hate plague that soon started to spread rapidly. Hot Rod then came up with a plan to rescue a Quintesson, hoping that a good deed on their part would bring Optimus back to life. Surprisingly, this plan worked, and Optimus soon returned to life and reclaimed the Matrix of leadership. He realized that he can counter this plague by using wisdom, and Prime then decided to sacrifice all his knowledge of the Matrix to restore all the victims of the plague. Though Transformers Rebirth was the last Generation 1 Transformers media released in the US in 1987, there were 3 exclusive spin-off series produced in Japan that followed the events that took place after Rebirth. The first spin-off, titled Transformers The Headmasters, followed the Autobots after they defeated the Decepticons and began working closely with Earth. The Autobots then went to capture planets such as Athenia, where Optimus Prime stationed himself. Prime soon realized the consequences of releasing the Matrix's energy to cure the plague and its effect on the universe's stability. Without the Matrix, the powerful Vector Sigma computer had become destabilized, which enabled the return of the Decepticons. The Decepticons were assaulting Cybertron again, and Prime and the Autobots head back to their home planet to defend it from the Decepticons and find a way to restabilize the Vector Sigma. Back at Cybertron, Prime looked for Vector Sigma in the depths of their planet with some guidance from the spirit of Alpha Trion. He managed to locate the computer, but found himself surrounded by Decepticons. At the same moment, Hot Rod appeared at the scene with Alpha Trion, who re-energized the Matrix. Now that the Matrix was back in working conditions, it transformed Hot Rod into Rodimus Prime, marking the first time that both Rodimus Prime and Optimus Prime fought against the Decepticons together. They defeat Galvatron, and Optimus Prime once again sacrifices his life in order to restore the balance in their planet. Before Rodimus could use the Matrix to stabilize the Vector Sigma, Optimus himself merged with the computer and stabilized it, even if it meant dying only a few months after his rebirth. However, Prime later made one final appearance in the G1 Transformers in The Battlestars: Return of Convoy in 1991. In 2010, a different version of Optimus Prime was the lead protagonist of an animated Transformers Robot in Disguise series. Here, he was voiced by Neil Kaplan, and his version of Prime could transform into a fire engine. The show was based on a concept that the Autobots were hidden vehicles in disguise on Earth when Megatron's forces attack Earth in order to steal energy sources. Prime led the Autobots to fight against Megatron, and this series marked Prime's first transformation into a fire engine. Optimus Prime was also a leading character in the Unicron trilogy that consisted of 3 movies named Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon, and Transformers Cybertron. This version of Prime is different from the others in the sense that he had one strange belief about how interacting with other cultures would do them harm. As a result, Prime prohibited the Autobots from interacting with any locals on Earth, Velocitron, or any other planet. However, he soon realizes that this approach would not do him any good, and that he needs to play by the rules of the Velocitronians and Animatronians if he wants to find what he is looking for. The 2008 Transformers animated series introduced a younger version of Optimus Prime. Here, Prime could transform into a red semi-trailer truck, and also had the ability to change any part of his body into a robotic tool. Prime used to study at the Autobot Academy with Sentinel Prime and Elita 1 in this version, but he soon left the Academy after he left Elita behind on a mission. He then met Bumblebee, Ratchet, and Bulkhead, and led a space bridge repair crew. Prime was also a part of the animated Transformers Prime series released on the Hub in 2010, and this series followed the same origin story as G1 Optimus Prime. Origins of Optimus Prime were recently revealed. Optimus Prime's origins were recently revealed in the 25th issue of the Transformers comics in 2019. The comic covers Orion Pax's transformation into Optimus Prime, and gives us insight into the backstory behind Prime becoming the leader of the Autobots. When Sentinel Prime was fatally wounded in an attack, he asked for Ultra Magnus's presence because he wanted to hand Magnus the responsibility of protecting the Matrix and killing Starscream. Just as the Sentinel dies, Orion Pax approaches his body to retrieve the Matrix and hand it over to Magnus. However, the Matrix immediately latches itself onto Orion's body and embeds himself into his chest. Orion then falls unconscious, and his subconscious takes him to the Allspark, which is considered to be the afterlife in the Transformers universe. In the Allspark, Orion comes across the Hate Plague and other such memories from the Transformers universe, and he learns that everything is still in the Allspark. Finally, Orion is given the choice of becoming the next Prime, and the Allspark stresses that they need a great leader to bear the Matrix, especially after Sentinel's death. Though Orion is initially resistant, he accepts his position and becomes the next Prime. Back in the real world, he regains consciousness and introduces himself as Optimus Prime, and not Orion Pax.
I am Optimus Prime.
Exploring his role in the cinematic universe. In the cinematic universe, Optimus Prime played a lead role in the Transformers films and also appeared in the Bumblebee reboot. This Optimus Prime was the counterpart in his Generation 1 version, and he led the Autobots to Earth after Cybertron became a barren wasteland. The first live-action Transformers was directed by Michael Bay, and it was released in 2007. Later, Michael Bay directed the next 4 Transformers films until the release of The Last Knight in 2017. In the first Transformers, Optimus Prime and his team of Autobots, including Jazz, Ironhide, and Ratchet, arrived on Earth after a signal sent by Bumblebee. Bumblebee had been living on Earth in the disguise of a Chevrolet Camaro that had been bought by a human named Sam Witwicky. Bumblebee helped Sam ask his crush Michaela out, and the two soon became very good friends. After having made allies on Earth, Bumblebee signaled the Autobots to come to Earth, and he was soon reunited with Optimus Prime and the Autobots. Optimus Prime explains their history to Sam and Michaela, and tells them about the civil war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. Prime explains that the Autobots wanted to find the Allspark, which was the source of all Cybertronian life, in order to rebuild their home planet and end the war. However, Megatron wanted the Allspark to destroy the Autobots, and the evil villain had already located the Allspark on Earth. Megatron traveled to Earth to get his hands on the Allspark, but ended up crash landing in the Arctic Circle. His body was then discovered by Sam's great-great-grandfather, Archibald Witwicky, who accidentally activated Megatron's navigation system. As a result, the Allspark's location was imprinted on Archibald's glasses, and Optimus Prime needed Sam to break into his house and find his great-grandfather's glasses for him. Megatron's frozen body was taken to the Sector 7 facility, where he was reverse-engineered to boost human technology. The Sector 7 officials also discovered the Allspark and constructed the Hoover Dam around it to conceal its energy.
Matching hieroglyphics on the cube as well as in B1. President Hoover had the dam built around it.
Back in the present, Optimus Prime and the Autobots conceal themselves as vehicles and follow Sam and Michaela to Sam's house. They send Sam to retrieve his father's glasses, but their plan goes astray when the Sector 7 agents detect the Autobots' presence and arrive at Sam's house. Agent Simmons abducts Sam's family and Michaela, and Optimus sends the Autobots to follow his SUV and intercept it. Optimus then frees the two children from the captivity of the Sector 7 agents and orders the Autobots to seize the agents' weapons. Optimus then tries to talk to Agent Simmons one-on-one, but does not get any information. Soon, Sector 7's backup reinforcements started showing up, and the Autobots scrambled before they could be captured. While Optimus gets his hands on Archibald's glasses, Bumblebee stays back to ensure the two kids' safety and ends up getting captured by Sector 7. Optimus and the Autobots regroup later, and Prime reveals his plan of merging the Allspark with his Spark in case they cannot defeat the Decepticons. Though merging the Allspark would most certainly kill him, Prime was willing to take that risk to ensure no further harm to any other races caused due to the Transformers. Prime then uses the glasses to find the Allspark's location, and leads the Autobots to Hoover Dam, which is also revealed to be the base of Sector 7. Meanwhile, the Decepticons, led by Blackout and Frenzy, had located Megatron's body at Hoover Dam. Frenzy disguises himself as a mobile phone to free Megatron from his current frozen state. At the Sector 7 headquarters, Agent Simmons warns the other agents about the Decepticons' conspiracy and demonstrates the power of the Allspark. Sam tries to convince Simmons to free Bumblebee and let him handle the Allspark. Meanwhile, Optimus Prime makes his way to Hoover Dam and comes across Megatron, who is also trying to locate Sam in the Allspark. They soon find Sam, and Optimus tries to shield him from Megatron, who immediately launches at Sam in order to get the Allspark. In a flurry of actions, Prime realizes that Sam has to fend for himself against Megatron, and he advises the boy to ram the Allspark into Megatron's chest to destroy it and even kill Megatron. Optimus then tries to salvage a fragment of the Allspark from Megatron's chest, but he realizes that it is beyond repair. He then comes to the realization that Cybertron cannot be restored anymore, and that they have a home on Earth now. As this movie comes to an end, Optimus sends a signal to all the Autobots in the universe to come to Earth, where they will have a new home. In the second movie, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, we get some information about the history of the Decepticons. The original Autobots, known as Primes, got their energy from sun harvesters, which were machines that destroyed stars to harness energy. The Autobots had vowed to never destroy any star that sustains human life. However, one of the original Primes broke this rule by attempting to build a sun harvester on Earth, for which he was sent to prison by the other Primes. This Autobot then became the Fallen, the very first Decepticon in the Transformers universe. In 2009, Optimus Prime and the Autobots settled on Earth and established a peace treaty with humans. They also created a task force to eliminate any Decepticons on Earth. Some members of the task force fought the Decepticons, and one of these Decepticons named Demolisher warned the task force that the Fallen was coming. In a different part of Earth, the Fallen and the Decepticons resurrected Megatron with a stolen shard of the Allspark. The Fallen then sent Megatron and his second-in-command Starscream to capture Sam Witwicky and kill Optimus Prime. Sam, who was now a college student, had been seeing Cybertronian symbols ever since his last encounter with the Decepticons. He was also holding onto a shard of the Allspark, and this shard tried to kill his family and even caused strange things to happen around his house. Sam then handed this shard to his girlfriend, Michaela, and the Decepticons later captured Sam, Michaela, and Sam's roommate, Leo. Optimus Prime single-handedly fought against Megatron, Starscream, and a third Decepticon named Grinder, in order to free Sam and his friends. Prime managed to free Sam and then ordered him to stay hidden while he battled Megatron in the midst of a forest with his Energon swords. The three Decepticons cornered Prime, and Megatron even questions why Prime is willing to sacrifice himself and the future of the Cybertronian race over just some human life. Prime then got enraged and used his twin Energon blades to launch a full-blown attack on the Decepticons. He asked Sam to run to safety while Megatron finally got to Prime and impaled him with the sword. The Autobots came to Prime's rescue, and the Decepticons retreated away. Optimus was then taken to Egypt at Sam's request, and Sam then received and rebuilt the Matrix of Leadership. Sam shoved this Matrix in Optimus's chest, which immediately healed him and brought him back to life. In the movie's finale, Optimus and the Autobots finally came face to face with the Fallen and the Decepticons, and the Battle of Egypt soon began. Optimus blew up the Star Harvester that was being installed on Earth, and even defeated the Fallen by stabbing him and ripping his face off.
You were the one who taught me freedom is everyone's right.
In the third installment of the franchise, titled Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Optimus Prime discovered a part of their spaceship Ark on a mission in Chernobyl. He confronted the humans who worked with them at Nest, who told him that very few people knew about the Ark's crash on the moon. Optimus and Ratchet then traveled to the moon to investigate the wrecked Ark, where they found the Sentinel Prime in a static state. The Sentinel was locked there with 5 of their transport devices known as pillars that came together to form a space bridge. Prime returned to Earth with the pillars, and the Sentinel then used the Matrix to revive the Sentinel Prime. Prime then returned to their base to discover that the Sentinel had sided with the Decepticons now, and had even stolen the pillars. Moreover, the Sentinel was bringing in hundreds of Decepticons on Earth, and Optimus tried to confront Sentinel, but failed to defeat him. Sentinel then approached the United Nations and managed to expel the Autobots from Earth. Optimus and the others left in a Xantium, which was later destroyed by Starscream. With no alternative, the Autobots landed in Chicago, where they fought the Decepticons and rescued Sam, Epps, and other humans.
kill them all.
Optimus then heads into the city to find the pillars, especially the control pillar. The Autobots face the Decepticons and try to subdue them when finally, Optimus found himself at the mercy of Sentinel. Just as Sentinel was about to kill Optimus, Megatron intervenes and fatally attacks Sentinel. Megatron asks for a truce and declares that he does not wish to fight the Autobots under the leadership of Sentinel. However, Optimus lunges into an attack on Megatron, and the two briefly fight each other when Sentinel intervenes. He tries to explain to Optimus why he betrayed the Autobots, but Optimus refuses to hear his excuses and kills him using Megatron's fusion cannon. In Transformers Age of Extinction, released in 2014, the Autobots struggle with their image on Earth after the battle in Chicago. The public views them as a dangerous species who must be destroyed, and rogue CIA officers form the Cemetery Wind Task Force to kill the Autobots. Optimus finds allies in the Dinobots, another species of Transformers who had been residing on Earth. Together, they try to evade the CIA agents and another enemy known as the Creators. The Creators were an alien species who were also intent on destroying the Autobots, and they had hired a Cybertronian assassin named Lockdown to find Optimus Prime. Optimus also learns about the Creator's devices known as seeds, which can cover the Earth with an alloy called transformium that can create Transformer drones. The Creators had also promised to give one seed to the Cemetery Wind Task Force if they managed to capture Optimus. The movie mostly follows Optimus and the Autobots as they try to evade Lockdown and the Task Force, and eventually Optimus manages to kill Lockdown. He then sends a message to the Creators and threatens them by saying that he is coming for them.
I am Nemesis Prime. You are nothing!
The fifth movie in the Transformers franchise was titled Transformers: The Last Night, and it begins with Optimus Prime arriving on the remains of Cybertron to meet Quintessa. She brainwashes Optimus into thinking that he solely caused Cybertron's destruction, and then sends him back to Earth to get Merlin's staff. The staff had the power to restore Cybertron, but at the cost of absorbing the Earth's energy. Optimus Prime then came back to Earth in the form of Nemesis Prime, and was determined to get his hands on Merlin's staff. Back on Earth, the Transformers were being hunted down by the Transformers Reaction Force, and they remained in hiding. Bumblebee gets his hands on a mechanical talisman from a dying Transformer, and Megatron then allies with the US government to retrieve this talisman. While the Decepticons hunt down the Autobots, Bumblebee and his companions seek Sir Edmund Burton and then visit an Oxford professor, Vivienne Wembley, to learn more about the talisman. Burton tells them that this talisman can lead them to Merlin's staff, which is buried deep in a Cybertronian spacecraft under the sea. Vivienne then reveals that she is a direct descendant of Merlin, and that only she has the power to activate the staff. The group then makes their way to the Royal Navy Museum to find a submarine that will take them to the Cybertronian ship, and they evade the TRF and the authorities while escaping the museum. They manage to find Merlin's staff, and Vivienne awakens the Knights of Lausanne while activating the staff. Finally, they are faced with Nemesis Prime, who orders the Autobots to hand over the staff. Bumblebee ends up fighting this version of Optimus, who finally breaks free from Quintessa's control and returns to his senses. The Autobots then face the Decepticons in a battle to obtain the staff, and they get some help from the Knights of Lausanne. We also learn that the Decepticons want Merlin's staff to activate it at Merlin's tomb at Stonehenge, which would drain the Earth's life sources. Edmund Burton single-handedly tries to prevent Megatron from activating the staff at Merlin's tomb, but ends up dying at the hands of the Decepticon. In a jarring finale, the remains of Cybertron clash with the Earth, and a final battle takes place among the Transformers. Optimus Prime defeats Megatron in this battle, while Bumblebee fights against Quintessa, who has also made her way to Earth. The battle ends when Vivienne steps up and removes the staff from Stonehenge, saving both Earth and Cybertron from further damage. Optimus Prime, along with the Autobots, leave Earth to return to their home planet in an attempt to rebuild it. Optimus Prime was also a part of the spin-off Bumblebee movie in 2018, and he is set to return in Rise of the Beasts, which is scheduled for release in 2023.
Ugly mess. Did you forget who I am?
What makes Optimus Prime so powerful? Optimus Prime was one of the most potent Cybertronians in the Transformers universe, and possessed a great deal of powers and abilities. Prime had superhuman strength and durability, and could effortlessly withstand powerful attacks by the Decepticons. Optimus had the ability to fly, and even withstand extreme temperature conditions in space for a period of time. Prime had superhuman speed, and he transformed into a truck whenever he needed to act speedily in the face of calamity. He had supreme reflexes, and he reacted to situations faster than most beings. Prime could detect danger and dodge attacks at the speed of light. Prime is also skilled in hand-to-hand combat and has an array of weapons at his disposal, if needed. Optimus's preferred weapons are the Ion Blaster, Energon Swords, and Shield Cannon, but his skills extend beyond just using these weapons, and he is also a proficient marksman. Prime used to be the head scientist of Cybertron's scientific division, and had contributed significantly to the development of Cybertronian technology. Optimus is an excellent leader to the Autobots, and a master tactician who always knows how to target his enemy's weakness. He has a genius-level intellect, and is also multilingual.
Say hello to my friend, Bumblebee.
Conclusion. To sum it up, Optimus Prime was, and always will be, one of the most loved pop culture heroes. His presence in the Transformers universe has been nothing but legendary, and Prime's values of honor and integrity definitely make him a true role model. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!